Hi everybody, Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, and this is another contest entry for me. This is for the record spinner, and he just surpassed 1,000 subscribers. So I thought I would enter his 1,000 subscriber competition. He asked for 5 albums that you could play 1,000 times and still not get tired of them. So I guess it's kind of a favorite albums, or at least albums that don't wear on you after a while. That's a hard one. I went through my collection a while. I came up with 5, but if I'd done this yesterday or went back and did it again tomorrow, I bet you I'd come up with 5 different albums each time. But here's my best shot at it anyway. First of all, what's playing in the background? The Long Riders, State of the Union. Pick this up at in a dollar bin somewhere. Kind of is this what they called alt country? I think they're an LA band during that alt country period. Lone Justice and these guys, and I believe John Doe X, those guys. That period, I think. Good album so far. I really like it. Okay, all right, but I don't think I can listen to it 1,000 times and not get tired of it. So here's my best shot at it. Now, the first album that came to my mind was one that I bought when it came out. I've had it in various formats, and all through the last 20, oh gosh, I'm 62, so 40 some years, I keep coming back to it. I probably originally had it as an 8-track tape, if that tells you anything. Then as an album, then as a CD, and I've still got my album copy that I've had for many years, and I keep going back to it. And that would be Eric Clapton, 461 Ocean Boulevard. I just love this album. It's just always been my favorite Eric Clapton album by far, and one of my favorite all-time albums. And I could just listen to it and listen to it. Of course, the name of the album after the location, the place they were staying. He had been a heroin addict for a couple of years and laid around his mansion in England and did nothing. Finally, got straight, got off the junk, and produced this great album down in Miami. Unfortunately, he replaced the needle with the bottle and stayed drunk for most of the 80s, I think. But what year did this come out? Like 75 or something like that? 74. Okay, and it's got Motherless Child on here. What a classic song. He does justice for sure. Willie and the Hand Jive. Of course, the one that was the hit single, I Shot the Sheriff. I Can't Hold Out. Please Be With Me, which is a Boyer song. Charles Scott Boyer from the band Cowboy. Boyer and Towton, Cowboy, back in Georgia. Let's see, Let It Grow, Steady Rolling Man, which is, of course, a Robert Johnson song. Mainland Florida, George Terry wrote. Just a great album. I could keep listening to that one. And I don't know that I could stand it without having some John Prine on. And this is maybe my favorite John Prine album. I mean, they're all great. This one's called Bruised Orange, and it's got a Fish and Whistle on it. It's a great, good feeling song. There She Goes. If You Don't Want My Love, That's the Way That the World Goes Round. You're up 1 minute, the next you're down. It's a funny situation. You're half a inch of water and you think you're going to drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Bruised Orange, also known as Chain of Sorrow. It's got Iron Ore Betty. I'm in love with Iron Ore Betty, and she's in love with me. Crooked Piece of Time, All Heck, and my favorite on here, one of my favorite all-time Prine songs. Who else besides John Prine would write a song about a child actor touring the Midwest to promote his movie? Sabu Visits the Twin Cities Alone. Great album. Great. It creates so much in your mind, imagining what's going on there. You'd have to have the American Songbook in there somewhere. If you're going to play it 1,000 times, play stuff from the American Songbook. Willie Nelson's Stardust. She loved Willie's hat there. But I mean, gosh, you know, how could you get tired of the song Stardust, George on My Mind, Blue Skies, let's see, Moonlight in Vermont. Gosh, just don't get around much anymore. Someone to watch over me. You can't get tired of the American Songbook. And do you know who? You probably do. Do you know who produced this album for Willie? Okay. Booker T. Jones, Booker T. and the MGs. Booker T. produced this album. I think they were neighbors in Hawaii. Maybe still be neighbors in Hawaii. And then we go to one of my all-time favorite bands. I have to get a little Amazing Rhythm Aces. Band that should have been as big as the Stones, but things don't all should have been doesn't get you there. Okay, this is Too Stuff to Jump, and you see you've got a biology lab frog there on a wooden toy motorcycle, featuring, of course, the songwriting and vocals of the great late Russell Smith. This has got Typical American Boy, If I Just Knew What to Say, The End Is Not in Sight, also known as the Cowboy Song, Same Old Me, These Dreams of Losing You, A Little Italian Rag, goes on and on. This is just a great album from the Amazing Rhythm Aces. If you don't know who the Aces are, because they were around for about 8 albums back in the late 70s, early 80s, and then they were no more. I really suggest you dig in. You'll like them if you like an eclectic band, a band that is hard to label. Are they a country band? Are they a rock band? Are they a soul band? Are they even a little bluegrass band? No, they're a band that incorporates elements of different styles to make their own style. And finally, the last one of the 5 would be Emmylou Harris, Roses in the Snow. Great album. It's got Roses in the Snow, title track, Wayfaring Stranger, The Boxer, the Paul Simon song, Darkest Hours Just Before Dawn, Ralph Stanley song, I'll Go Steppin' 2, the Louvin Brothers song, You're Learning, traditional song, Jordan, A.P. Carter's Gold Watch and Chain. Just a wonderful, what we would call today an Americana album, I suppose. Great. She always surrounded herself with great musicians. Tony Rice plays guitar on some of these. Ricky Skaggs is prominent on this album. Albert Lee, the British guitarist, is on here a lot. Just a wonderful album. You can't beat her vocals. Never get tired of that. So those are my selections for 5 albums that I could play 1,000 times and not get tired of. I've got a competition going on right now that ends March 1st. Check it out on my channel, my 130 plus subscribers. If you haven't entered, I'd love to have you enter. If you don't get a chance, that's fine. Say it ends March 1st. This is a fun one for the record spinner, and I'll remind everybody, be kind to your neighbor, and we're all neighbors. Try to love one another.